So next we're going to be hearing from neurological sciences, and Dr. Hanna is going to tell us about.
Hello. I guess I'm talking to just third years today, right? Awesome. So my name is Josh Hanna. I'm a former UT student, soon to be former research fellow, soon to be indentured servant to the Oshner Tulane Neurosurgery residency. Edna and Lainey aren't able to make it today for personal reasons, so I got elected to talk to you about the research opportunities in the neurosciences. The first thing and major point that I want to make, if there's one thing that you guys take away from the rest of this conversation, is the ease of accessibility of research with the neurosciences. The neuroscience department at Oshner has one of the highest flows of research within this hospital system. We employ over 30 residency certified physicians, and each year with case studies and study series alone, we produce dozens of manuscripts. If you take into account all of the conferences, posters, and presentations we do, we publish well over 100, or have over 100 publications each year. And really what we're limited by is manpower and interest. So we can definitely do more than that. It's sort of inherent within this, we have a large variety of projects. And I'm going to talk to you about those here just very briefly. So taking this all together, another thing to be considered is we are neuroscience, but because sort of where we work is from head to toe, we employ interest in a number of fields. If you look here, this is what I came up with in 5 minutes. I can name 8 to 10 specialty fields directly that we have research opportunities in. And this is just a small giving of the real research opportunities that we have here. Sort of what I'm going to do is talk to you just briefly about what is available for you guys. Everyone looks terrified. I'm sorry. So what we'll start with is we'll start with neurosurgery studies. I'm going to cover everyone's studies in neurosciences, and there's a lot of stuff that we don't quite know that exists yet because PIs don't necessarily give us everything. So within the neurosurgery service, we have graph studies for fusion and disability and functional outcomes. We have chemosensitivity and molecular genetic correlative studies that correlate outcomes between molecular genetics and presence or absence of genes with sensitivity to chemotherapy. We have movement disorder study for those who are interested in neurology and treatment with deep brain stimulation. For those interested in OB or pediatrics, we have myelomeningocele repair, the in utero repair of myelomeningocele, and we're doing a case series for that. We also have different treatment outcomes and comparing types of treatment for neuro-oncological conditions that are not necessarily limited to the cranium. Primaries from elsewhere in the body that metastasize, and treatment outcomes for these. And for those who are ortho-inclined or like PM&R, we have a whole cornucopia, if you will, of spine surgery projects. As far as vascular neurology is concerned, we currently employ 5 interventional neurointerventional radiologists, and we just employed our first neurosurgeon who is vascular trained. And so I think in the last 2 months I've written 6 IRBs for him, and so we've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. But just some studies of interest are We have EMS transport time for TPA admin, comparing ground versus air transport. We have ischemic stroke, comparing different treatment modalities for that. And then in general neuro, or for those who are medicine inclined, we have a fall risk stratification protocol that we're putting together, and a number of other neurocritical care studies that look at microRNA in the CSF and how it links with, or can be associated with intracranial hemorrhage, conversion of ischemic stroke to intracranial hemorrhage, or even epilepsy after stroke events. So those are the investigator-initiated studies that we have, and again, this is absolutely not an exhaustive list. And what we're going into now is the industry-initiated studies. So these are companies that come to us and say, look, we have a novel treatment, or we have a new magnet for the MRI, and we want you to test it out, or we want you to be part of a multi-center study. And a lot of these the PIs sit on, so we don't quite have an exhaustive list of those either. But some examples is we're running phase 1 and 2 clinical studies for chemotherapy agents. We're looking at the new outcomes in diagnoses for people with primary cancers that come in. We want to see what the real incidence of brain tumors is, so that we can treat them early and hopefully do some good by patients. And a lot of this is directly translational research. So it's very tangible, and it's very easy to discuss and understand from our standpoint. We're very simple people, I promise. And sort of the take-home message from everything that I've told you is that, first, accessibility. If you guys want to do research, or even remotely interested in doing research, we have projects for you. It doesn't matter what your previous experience is in research. It doesn't matter how many publications you have. If you can write, if you can't write, we want you. Really what we're looking for is warm bodies, and there aren't enough of those in the cadaver lab, so we couldn't make it work. Really the only thing that we want is enthusiasm and a willingness to learn. We have a number of research fellows. We have a number of staff that are intrinsically interested in different projects and are willing to take on students in a mentor capacity. And the existing roles that we have are everything from data mining to editing, grant writing, and manuscript writing. And so I don't have anything catchy to get you guys to call me. But what I do have is our information. Edna is a research fellow on staff with neurosurgery. I'm in the middle, and then Lainey is our research coordinator. You can text or email us at any time. We're neurosurgeons. We don't sleep. I promise. If you do call us late, you got to bring the pillow talk, because we're not very good at that. Yeah. All right. Well, any questions? Yeah.
You have to get up early for the research.
That's provided that you go to bed. For research, no. What we do is, it doesn't matter what your time requirement is. It doesn't matter really what your interest is. We'll work with you. And just because we're up at the crack of dawn doesn't mean you have to. You just schedule time with us, send us an email, or send us a text, and we'll work with a time that works with you. We understand that you guys are students. You like weekends and free time, and we'll work with that. What's that?
I want to.
Well, listen, y'all, I really appreciate it. I know 2 years ago, research was probably not on the forefront of my mind at 3 o'clock on a Friday. So good luck with everything, and I look forward to hearing from anyone who's